Good evening, Kingsway. This is Pastor Jeff, and coming to you on Friday evening. It's July the 23rd, 2021, and I wanted to give you a quick update before our weekend service to kind of do two things. I want to give you an update on our current status of our COVID outbreak, and then I want to go over some of the protocols that will be in place for our Sunday service coming up in 2 days on the 25th. I have my notes in front of me here to make sure I don't miss anything. So let me just go through some of these things together before I end tonight. As a current update, our current COVID total positive number. So the vast majority of these people are out of quarantine completely past, this situation. But the total number of people that go to Kingsway that ended up with a positive test result for COVID was 64. Ended up at 64 right now. We've had 7 days without any new cases reported. So we're happy that we're getting on that end of the outbreak. But we do currently have 2 in the hospital. We had 1 that was admitted yesterday. And so we want you to continue to pray for these 2. Also, I'm sure you've heard in the local news that the health department confirmed that 5 of the 8 samples that were tested came back as the Delta variant. We really weren't surprised at that, but we had 8 of our early samples that were sent away by the health department, and 5 of them tested positive. And if you've been doing any kind of research, you know that the Delta variant is more contagious and dangerous than the earlier variants. And so we feel like some of the protocols that we're putting in place over the next few weeks and kind of just seeing how this thing plays out in the state is vitally important. We were kind of the first in the news a few weeks ago, but now we really realized that all kinds of organizations of people across the country are really dealing with this new dangerous variant. And so to continue to promote health and safety in our church community, we believe that a broad use of multiple tools is required. And what I mean by tools is things like the vaccine, wearing a mask, social distancing, things like that. We obviously know that not one thing is foolproof, but we do know through practice that when we layer things and we put a lot of these tools together, that we're much safer. And so we think the guidelines that we're putting in place will keep our worship services safer. Even beyond this Sunday, I'm speaking to some of the medical professionals in our church community, and we are currently working on hosting our very own vaccine clinic at Kingsway. And so we'll give you some more details about that later on. But these are some of the things that we're trying to put together. So total number of 64, 7 days without a new case, and currently 2 in the hospital. So here are some of the protocols that we're bringing back. We had a lot of these pre-Memorial Day weekend when we started relaxing things, but we're going back to these things beginning this Sunday, July 25th. And the first one is this: temperature checks. As many of you remember, we have been taking people's temperatures or took their temperatures as they entered the building. We're going to go back to doing that. We know that not everybody that was COVID positive had a temperature, or at least early on in that part of their process, but it's one of the tools that we can use to layer for safety. So we're going to begin to take temperatures again. Also, all workers, staff, and volunteers will be masked. So we're having all of our volunteers, anybody that works for the church, that's greeting, that's checking in children, things like that, they all will be masked. And speaking of masks, we're asking all attenders that come as well, even if you don't do any kind of ministry or work there, to wear masks as well. This is a recommendation from the CDC and the state, and we're following their recommendation. The CDC nor the state has made it a mandate. Neither are we making it a mandate, but we feel like this is a very reasonable request and another tool that we can put together to keep everyone in our church safe. In some places, They've wanted, those. It's been recommended that if you have been vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask. I understand that. Other places they only want the unvaccinated to wear a mask. But we're one body, and so we're asking everybody, regardless of your vaccination status, to, if you will, voluntarily wear a mask when you're in our worship services. We greatly appreciate that. Also, we're going to be social distancing between families again, at least 6 feet or so. We got plenty of room that we can spread out. And so we're asking you to worship in family units. And then lastly, anyone who is not feeling well is asked to attend online until they are well. This was one of the challenging parts of this whole process. We live in Kentucky. People deal with allergies, and many people thought they just had a sniffle or had a cough, or those kinds of things ended up being positive. And so it just makes sense right now in this season that if you start to have a sniffle, different other things, they make tests now that you can buy over the counter. And so I encourage you, and if you're, feeling signs and symptoms, you can go and get checked out. And so we encourage you to do that, and just remain online until you're feeling well. So that's where we stand currently in our COVID numbers. That's where we stand regarding our protocols coming up this Sunday. And so let me just leave you with a couple of final thoughts. I believe every challenge we face is an opportunity. I really believe that. And this has been a very difficult time for anybody in any kind of leadership position. We've been dealing with this for a year and a half. My family and I moved to this community in 1995. My youngest child was born here. All 3 of my kids graduated from Woodford County High School. So this community means a lot to us, and we know a lot of different people in this whole region. And and I'm talking to a lot of my peers, different other people in leadership, whether it's in government, whether it's in business, whether it's in the church. These are trying times for all of us. And but I really believe that every challenge is an opportunity to be humble, an opportunity to serve one another, an opportunity to learn from one another, and particularly in my case and my peers, an opportunity to lead. And so I want to challenge everybody that calls Kingsway home. Look, we didn't pick this. It's an opportunity that landed in our laps. And so I want to challenge you to take every opportunity to use it at your fullest capacity, to turn it into an opportunity to lead and serve one another, and to love our community. It will make us better. It will make our community better. And it will be the best way that we can honor Jesus, who we love and serve, to do our best to follow his example and take full advantage of every opportunity we have to love our community. So I encourage you to do that today. I'm excited about all that we have in the future. Past every challenge is a wonderful opportunity to look back on it. And I am looking forward to the opportunity to look back and have this behind us. I appreciate you praying for those that are still in the hospital. And we're looking forward to be fully recovered and back on mission of what God has called us to do in this beautiful community. And I thank you for being a part of it. And I thank you for giving me the honor of leading you as your pastor. God bless you. And we'll see you this weekend, whether online or in person. God bless.